I received this 15 kilograms package. I felt so happy and excited when I saw my name on it. At the moment I can only tell you it comes from France and smells, well, like a paper box. Let's see inside. Whoa, this blue reminds me the same blue box I opened when I got my PlayStation 2 when I was a kid. Well, I can't deny I'm excited like a kid right now, and I'm trying to keep my cool. The TGT2! Yeah! Thrustmaster tells you the steering wheel won't be just compatible with Gran Turismo 7, which will be released in 2022, but even with future Gran Turismo games. Well, can't blame Thrustmaster considering this wheel has been developed in collaboration with Polyphony Digital. Then on the box there are written mostly the same things you can find in the first TGT. The main difference here, it mentioned the PlayStation 5, but remember, also the first TGT is PlayStation 5 compatible. Still, the box manages to give you the main points. I think at this point to find and to feel the real changes compared to the first TGT, the best thing is to test with your hands. Inside of the box you'll find the steering wheel. I love the smell of new plastic. Then the manual, which I think just a few of you will read. Then a device to install the steering wheel to the table, not in my case because I can install it on my cockpit with just 2 screws. The USB cable, very common. Other elements to fix the steering wheel to the support. The electrical cable for the power supply. Then there is the T-Turbo, same power and voltage of the old one if I'm not mistaken, with the shape of a turbo to help to dissipate better the head. And then you have the reason of the progress from the first TGT, which I'm very curious to test and tell you if the update is tangible or not. Thrustmaster gave us a lot of acronyms, like the TACQ, the TDCC, the TRTF, the T-Lean, the T4TVE, the TDFB, the TCOC, the TMCE, the T-Turbo. But I guess you guys you're more interested to pay attention to the point, I mean the true sensation that this motor can give you, and sincerely I can't blame you for that. And last but not least, the pedals, the T3PGT2 pedals. Whoa, my tongue is hurting after all these T acronyms. So, if we watch at the steering wheel, I'll stop you there. The steering wheel you'll find on the TGT2 is exactly the same of the TGT. I wish it featured maybe the LED for the RPM, but hey, I never complained about the old wheel and all 25 buttons. Same for the T-Turbo, a very powerful power supply which dissipates the head thanks to its form. Is exactly the same of the predecessor. Aesthetically, even the motor looks the same to the first TGT. The only changes are the TGT2 logo on the right and the crown behind the steering wheel, which is in shiny plastic which wants to recreate the metal. What about the pedals? Personally, I don't have the first T3PGT pedals to make a comparison with the T3PGT2 pedals. I can only tell you it doesn't feature the load cell brake pedals like the TLCM, otherwise you can understand this would commercially kill the TLCM. And it features more plastic on the base, but the metal pedals are fully customizable and the fact it includes also the clutch pedal are positive elements to me. Okay, at this point let's start the part of the video you're very waiting for, the test! Let's start with GT Sport, because this steering wheel is made specifically for this game, because you can set the GT mode on it and improve way more the force feedback effects. Here you have both TGT and TGT2 side by side. Both steering wheels are set on default settings and GT mode. I'm just forcing the car reaction to compare the steering wheel reactions. On both steering wheels you can feel very well the road and the contact of the tires to the surface. On the TGT2 you have a real-time drift curve calculation, which should improve the responsiveness of both steering wheel and car, but it's pretty hard to tell you there is a difference in this case. The TGT2 features also the real-time force feedback, which reduces the force feedback calculation times. In this case I can feel a slight difference, but I repeat, it's so light that you need a lot of sensitivity to feel that difference, but I can assure you it's present. Before I told you the TACQ. What's that? It's a certification, more precisely the ACQ, of printed circuit boards from real-world automotive industry. That means Thrustmaster put a great effort on the durability and reliability of this steering wheel. So according to that, you can stay calm for several years. Just keep in mind, my old TGT is still going strong after 2 years of sim racing without any issues, so imagine the TGT2. On other games you have to switch to other settings. I decided to test both TGT and TGT2 on Automobilista 2 on the full force feedback settings, and here finally I felt a stronger point on the TGT2. In fact, the TGT feels more gammy, while the TGT2 can translate better the bumps and roughness of the road surface. Really, I'm impressed this time. Talking about pedals, the standard pedals you'll find with TGT2 provide a good grip, thanks to the metal and a good level of customization. It's also pretty useful the fact you have to press just the mode button on the steering wheel to invert the clutch and the throttle. In that way you can put the pedal in vertical like the T3PA Pro. On bad points, I can only blame the excessive amount of plastic used for them, and the fact the 3 pedals are too soft to push, and unless you mod them you can't customize the stiffness. So, what are my final thoughts about the TGT2? To all the people who complain it's basically the same wheel compared to the first TGT, I answer by taking the BMW 3 Series A90. The TGT is like the pre-restyling model, while the TGT2 is like the post-restyling model. Few new elements on the design, but also on the mechanical part, made the new BMW 3 Series more refined, but also slightly more efficient and performing. The transition from the TGT to the TGT2 is the same. Not a revolution, but a slightly overall improvement. Okay, the TGT2 is still based on the belt technology. Despite everyone says and claims the direct drive represents the future of sim racing. But despite that, the steering wheel isn't a cheap tool qualitatively speaking. On the contrary, it manages to give you good sensations, a decent amount of infos on your hands while you're driving. I must admit it's quite expensive, okay, but surely it won't be a waste of money. Unless you buy a defective one, which you can substitute immediately with a new one for free thanks to the warranty. And trust me, this happens with all brands like Thrustmaster, Logitech, Fanatec, etc. You can be sure this is a reliable steering wheel which will work for several years thanks to the maturity of Thrustmaster on it. Well, I hope you liked this video. And you? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. For the moment, I simply thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!